Okay. I'm calling the meeting to order at 6:37, looks like.
Yep, 6:37. Perfect. So we'll do a roll call. I need to have a better list of, so I'll call you each to just introduce yourself. I'm Ann Pasco, Regional Advocate, Technical Support to the Northern Virginia Hospital LHRC Committee, which is meeting this day, 5/26, at the time stated. So Sue, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Susan Hainish, I'm the chair of the committee.
Thank you. Celia?
Celia Kellerman, committee member.
Thank you. Cheryl?
Donalda Jones.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Donalda.
Donalda Jones, committee member.
Cheryl?
Cheryl Wacker, committee member.
Thank you. Kathy?
Kathy Sommer, LHRC committee member.
Very good. And let me see if I can share my screen for the, oh, what is that? Am I sharing something? No, I need to stop that. Okay. Apologies. Show all windows. I have too many windows open, so I have to find the actual agenda. I'm going to apologize. It's going to take me a second. Let me pull it back up. Oh, that's because I closed it. Ah, silly me. I'm not sharing anything just yet, right?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Let me go back to here. Let's see if I can screen share now. Oh, for heaven's sakes. You get to see my confused faces. Okay. All right, now we got it. Am I sharing the agenda?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So we just need an approval of the agenda. So motion second, and then I have to call each of you in order. And I'm gonna need to write this down so I keep it in the same order.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Thanks, Cheryl. Can I have a second? Thanks, Kathy.
Second.
And then the decisions have to be roll called, so I'll just ask you to confirm your vote. Sue?
Do I just say yes?
Yeah.
Approved. Approved.
Cheryl?
Okay.
Yep.
Approved.
Thank you, Celia.
Approve.
Donalda?
Approved.
Kathy?
Approved.
Very good. Did I get everyone?
Yes.
The only potential change is the YFT provider. I'm not clear that they're coming. They did submit their paperwork. That would be the only potential change. We won't know that till we get there. So I'm going to stop sharing that. Oh, yeah, stop sharing that. And I need to, you guys all got the minutes from the last meeting, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you need me to pull them up for you? It's okay if you do. Let me find them and I'll pull them up. Okay. It's a lot of screen maneuvering. All right, here we go. Here are the minutes from the last meeting, April 28th. Any questions, suggestions, revisions?
No.
Looks
Okay,
good.
then just need a motion, a second, and then again, we'll roll call the approval.
I motion to approve the minutes.
Donalda Jones, seconds.
Thank you, Donalda Jones. Sue, do you approve?
Approved.
Cheryl?
Approve.
Celia?
Approve.
Donalda,
Approved.
Kathy.
Approve.
Very good. All right, so we have public comment. We're a couple of minutes early. I don't have anyone in the waiting room who is going to be making public comments, but we'll give it a couple minutes. The next item on the agenda will be the chairperson announcements, then the advocate report and training, and then we'll roll into closed session with the presentation starting at 7. So we'll give it a couple minutes to see if anyone comes into the room seeking to make public comment. Of course, you all are able to make public comment as well, if you so desire.
This is when we miss Steve.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's true.
Let me share the agenda again. Let's give it a couple more minutes. And this is when I need hold music. We'll give it about another minute. Again, apologies. All right, very good. No one is present and wishing to make comment for public session, public comment period. Then we will move on to the next item. So is there any announcements that you need to make, Sue? You don't have to.
can't think of any.
Okay, very good. Advocates report, just want to let you guys know that a part-time advocate was hired for Northern Virginia Mental Health Institute. And so that means that Jen, probably mid-June, will be coming full-time to the community for Region 2, which is great. No changes on this committee or who conducts the business for this committee. So your technical assistants will continue to be Jen, and you guys will continue to do a mix of facility and community LHRC business. So no changes to any of that. Any questions on that?
No.
Why are they just part-time?
Because
Just
the
for
position
providers?
doesn't, and that's okay, the position really is not a full-time position. So
Okay, and now that Jen is on, I guess, full-time regional or on, I guess, in the field, how does that affect anybody? Me in particular?
she'll be all up in your business to know that there's no changes. So Jen has been working with, Lena is still the IDDD advocate, Lena Hurt, and Jen is still the hospital and community advocate. So she'll continue to work with all of the hospitals, and as she's done, and some of the mental health and SA providers, but she's been taking on responsibilities and duties for new providers, which the majority of the new providers are IDDD providers. So she's been working on onboarding them, making sure that all the required information is submitted. You know, our new provider orientation, she helps out with that. So she's been working on a process to make sure that all the new providers that come into the region, that they're oriented and they have what they need. It is interesting that sometimes new providers or new staff people get hired and they've never read the human rights regulations or they've never read the licensing regulations, and that's an important first step of being a good new provider. So sometimes just reminding them that they need to do that is helpful. So she's been coordinating all that and she'll continue to do that. And I think in conjunction with that, then she will be working with some IDD providers as well.
Thank
So
you.
very good, good question. So I'm going to screen share, if I can find it, the PowerPoint, because we have a next friend appointment for today. I'm going to turn off my video for a second. A next friend appointment today, and so I want to just remind everybody about, it's section 146 of the regulations that talks about next friend authorized representative appointment. I'm going to pull out my regulations, our famous blue book. You have to have special paper now to get the blue. So the authorized representative is covered in section 146, but 145 is related to that in that it talks about determination of capacity of gig consent or authorization. And those are related in terms of the fact that you cannot appoint an authorized representative or a next friend if the person has capacity. If they have capacity, then they can make those decisions, treatment decisions. They can give informed consent and authorization for treatment. It's if the capacity is in doubt and you receive that capacity evaluation that then you move to having an authorized representative. Now remember that a legal guardian trumps everything. Legal guardian is in fact a legal process, and that designation is made through the court system. And so if someone comes in with a legal guardian, then it's already been determined that they lack capacity and someone has petitioned the court to act in that person's best interest. Guardianship can be full or partial. There can be exclusions on what is covered. Full guardianship is pretty all-encompassing. It prevents the individual from having a driver's license, from voting, from getting married. All those aspects are decisions made by the legal guardian. Some of it can be limited where the ability to vote does not come under the guardian. So there can be some exclusionary sections, but those are legal. In the absence of having a legally appointed guardian, an authorized representative is sought. An authorized representative is typically a family member that the provider, actually let me back up and say that the designation of authorized representative is provider specific. So a group home provider might have one particular individual as an authorized representative, where a day program might have someone else. Of course, you would like it to be the same, but it's not that requirement. And just because you're an AR for one provider does not mean that that carries over to another provider. They can share that capacity determination, but in terms of that designation, that's internal paperwork specific to that person. is clear, I cannot talk and watch the windows pop up. So let me keep going. So authorized representative, there's a whole list of individuals who qualify as authorized representatives. When that list is exhausted, then we go to the next friend. So let's talk about that. So the role of the LHRC is to designate next friend of the individual after reviewing the findings, has the discretion to waive personal appearance, which I think we're going to end up changing that in the regulations. And of course, certainly in this age of virtual meetings, we are waiving those personal appearances. They have the discretion to allow the proposed next friend to appear by telephone. So we just talked about that. So some of the questions that you can ask the next friend, are there any appropriate family members available that are willing to serve as authorized representative? Remember that guardians, guardian ad litem, and family members are really the preferred authorized representative. It's only when you have exhausted that list that the next friend appointment becomes a necessity. What have you done to find out if there are any family members to serve? So these are things that you can ask Western State today. Western State is the provider. They're the ones bringing this forward and seeking the next friend appointment. Did you have a capacity evaluation performed? And you can ask them about that. They did submit some paperwork that they did do a capacity evaluation and they do a second opinion. You can ask them about that process. Does the individual have any objection to this person helping with their decision making? So you can ask if the individual agrees with this next friend appointment or if they have any objection to it. Ask the next friend designee, how do you know the individual? How long have you known or shared residence with the individual? And there's some comments in the regulations that talk about the next friend should, for a period of 6 months or within 2 years prior to this designation, either shared a residence with the individual, had regular contact or communication with the individual, and provided significant emotional, financial, personal, and spiritual, psychological support to the individual. Those are in our regulations. So are you aware of and accept the responsibilities explained to you? Or are you willing to act in the individual's best interest? Oh, that was the end. Look at that. So any questions on that? That was pretty quick. But I
No
can also,
questions.
okay, I can also pull up if I can find it.
And what did you say about the second opinion? That's not a necessity, correct?
It's not a necessity, but the facilities do tend to do it. And so you can ask them, was there a second opinion? Was this a primary opinion? You can ask them any of that. What capacity evaluations did you do? You know, how many did you do? You can ask them that. All right, so now I was going to try to pull up my regulations, but I can't find it. This is very strange. All right, very good. If we're done with that, I'm not still sharing. Okay. Making faces at my camera. Oh, basic and advanced. Holy cats. Go back to that. All right, if no questions on that, then I will close out this training. And we can let the individuals into the room who are here for that. Actually, what I need to have happen before then, per our agenda. If there's no questions on the training, we'll just go through the last 2 items on the agenda, then we'll read into closed session, and then I'll pause the recording after that. So,
Is there old or new business?
I have none.
Okay.
Anyone else?
No.
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 All right, let's see what this says. All right, very good. Then go back to here, take this off. Let me share the closed session. If someone can read that in, and similarly, you need to do the motion, the second, and then we'll do the roll call that you authorize that. So if someone can read that, and then we'll do a motion, second, and roll call.
Okay, I'll read it. Whereas the Northern Virginia Hospital Local Human Rights Committee desires to discuss in closed session client-related matters, and whereas pursuant to VA Code 2.1-344A, paragraph 15 for the protection of the privacy of individuals and their records and personal matters not related to public business. Such discussions may occur in closed session. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Northern Virginia Hospitals Local Human Rights Committee does hereby authorize discussions of the aforestated matters in closed session.
Very good. Can I have a second?
Second.
Is that Kathy?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay. Sue, do you agree with this going into closed session with this authorization of closed session?
Do I say yes or A?
Yes. Yeah, yes.
A.
Cheryl,
Yes.
Celia,
Yes.
Donalda,
Ma'am.
Kathy?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to now pause recording. Thanks. Go ahead, Sue.
Okay. Whereas the Northern Virginia Hospital Local Human Rights Committee has this day adjourned into closed session in accordance with a formal vote of the committee and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. And whereas the Freedom of Information Act requires certification that such closed session was conducted in conformity with the law, now therefore be it resolved that the Northern Virginia Hospitals Human Rights Committee does hereby certify to the best of their knowledge only matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements, that only such matters for the protection of the privacy of the individuals and their records and personal matters not related to public business were heard, discussed, or considered.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
This is Cheryl. I second.
Thank you, Cheryl. I'm going to roll call each of you, and when I call your name, please indicate so certified. Sue,
So certified.
Cheryl,
So certified.
Celia,
So certified.
Donalda,
So certified.
Kathy.
So certified.
Very good. I am going to separate out the decisions for the first, well, actually, I take that back. We're going to vote on the Western State Hospital next friend appointment, and then the individual number 3, individual number 2 require no recommendations. So if I can have someone make a motion, and then again, I'll roll call that we accept the next friend appointment that was requested for individual number 1. So if someone can make a motion, a second, and then again, we'll roll call the vote. Can I have a motion?
I
I
motion.
motion.
Oh, I second.
Who made the motion? I'm sorry.
Celia.
Thank you, Celia. And Donalda, you seconded?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sue, are you in agreement with that recommendation?
Me?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Celia?
Yes.
Donalda? You're on mute, Donalda.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Kathy?
Yeah.
Thank you. Recommendations for individual number 3, I'm going to have Celia abstain. So I need someone to make a motion that the recommendation is for individual number 3 to return at the 8:25 meeting. So I need a motion and a second, and then I'll roll call.
Motion to see person number 3 in 3 months.
Yes, very good. Second.
And I second. This is Cheryl. I second that motion.
Thanks, Cheryl. Sue, are you in agreement?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Celia's abstaining. Donalda?
Yeah.
Kathy?
Yes.
Very good. Having no other, and so the chair can review the agenda, and having no other matters to discuss, you can call the meeting adjourned and state the time. I do not believe we need a motion for that. If all the business on the agenda is conducted, the chair can close the meeting. You may want to mention the next meeting, Madam Chair.
Okay, do I adjourn first or indicate the next meeting?
Yeah, indicate the next meeting and then we can adjourn and you can call the time and I'll stop the recording.
The next meeting is June 23rd at 6:30.
So just a reminder that the meeting information is the same for every meeting for the rest of the year. The link and the login, all of that should remain the same.
Okay.
Okay,
Wait,
And-
one more time.
June 23rd. June's a long month.
And we will adjourn at 8:05.
Very good. Let me hit stop record.